This conference will now be recorded.
I think you are on mute.
Um, Guys, able to hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
Satish.
yes, Satish.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Fine, guys. Let me start the.
This
You
conference
will.
will now be recorded.
Okay. Good morning again, guys. Good evening. This is Satish from Isha. Very quick introduction about me. I have close to 15 years of experience as a performance tester, as a performance engineer, um, a little bit of mainframe development, and a good amount of product development. So I've seen the end-to-end of your life cycle from various aspects. And I also work, also part of Isha for last 2 years, taking the trainings for performance engineering, as well as the other short-term courses like your monitoring, your live performance project, Selenium for performance. So I've been taking this several courses for the last 2 years. So this new batch on performance engineering, which is going to get started from tomorrow, will go over for next 3 to 4 weeks. And today, I would like to probably spend good amount of time in providing the walkthrough of the various topic that we are going to cover in this part of the in this performance engineering session. And the detailed probably will go over the detailed of these topics probably tomorrow, but today we'll get started with the overview on all these topics. So the engineering session batch is going to get started with the concepts, with the basics, before we go on to the some of the key engineering activities. Okay, so we're going to start with something called concepts and programming as part of the Java basics. Okay, so this being a Java performance engineering, and most of us who are part of the performance testing, when we move on to the performance engineering, so the engineering is all about finding faults, just not finding faults, but also getting into detailed observations, detailed inferences, recommendations, identifying bottlenecks, right? Which means you're going to find fault with the code, right? And you're going to say there's a problem with the response time because of this particular method, particular class. There is a memory leak because of this object. So you're going to talk a lot of things in technical, and you're going to pinpoint some problem at the code level, right? Which means you should also have confidence in talking about these terminologies, which means you should have at least very basic understanding about the Java. So we're going to spend a couple of days on the concepts and the programming. Okay, so with I'll detail out what we're going to see it for each of the session, but at the from an overview perspective, initially we'll start with the Java basics and the JVM basics as well, right? From one from the programming perspective, one from the your JVM perspective. So Java basics and JVM basics are going to be the one which are going to start to lay out the platform for you, so that whatever we are going to do later, right? You will know why it is done, what is done from a developer point of view. You'll be able to understand these things. So Java basics and JVM basics are the one which we will start as part of the initial sessions, and then we'll get on to the various engineering activities that you do from beginning of the project till end of the deployment, right? So early performance, early profiling, we will go over as a performance engineer, um, as part of the shift left, what are all activities you will do it. As part of the early performance engineering, what are all things you will do it, right? So right from the response time analysis, finding out performance problem for your functionalities, providing the recommendations, right? All these things are going to be part of your early performance or response time profiling or CPU profiling. In the right hand side last column, I also given the some of the tools that we will be using it for our sessions, for each of the session, right? If you take the Java basics, we will be using Eclipse, we'll be using Tomcat, we'll be using a sample Java app, we'll be using JDK, of course, to Eclipse to create small programs, the programs which you typically a developer is going to create as part of their application. We'll deploy it in the Tomcat. We'll also use a sample Java application, a proper Java application for the entire batch itself. Okay, and when it comes to response time analysis, we'll be using JProfiler, which is a profiling tool, a server-side profiling tool. We'll be using Tomcat Access Log. We'll be using Chrome Developer Tools. Combination of this, we'll be using it for our response time analysis. And then before going to the, again, there is as part of the early performance of profiling, similar to response time, you optimize the response time. You also have to optimize the memory. So the important things which you will try to optimize for every screen, every functionality, right? We will not go and run any test, any load test or any stress test without optimizing your response time, without optimizing your memory. These are the two important things which is required for making sure your capacity of your JVM is properly done, because without you fine-tuning your response time or without fine-tuning your memory, your capacity of your JVM is going to get impacted. then there is no meaning in benchmarking your JVM or running a load test. So two things: response time analysis for optimizing the response time, memory leak analysis to optimize the memory. So those are the two things which we will do it as part of the profiling. And for memory leak analysis, before going to memory leak analysis, we'll also go and try to get some basics concepts around Java memory, Java heap, and stack, so that whatever you do in the analysis, concepts wise also you will understand that. Again, we will use the tool of JProfiler, JConsole for memory leak analysis. And from there, as an extension for memory leak analysis is a single user analysis. The heap dump analysis and garbage collection analysis is more towards one, from a heap dump perspective, you're going to again analyze your memory, try to understand what could be the problem of memory problem during a load test or endurance test, taking the heap dump, analyzing the heap dump, finding the bottleneck, right? Why to take the heap dump, when to take the heap dump, how to take the heap dump, how to analyze the heap dump, all these things we are going to look into it. And then again, as part of the memory, we'll also go very in detail towards the garbage collection analysis in terms of algorithms, in terms of concepts, in terms of various components within your heap. So all these things we will be looking into in detail. Again, of course, the GC log analysis is we are going to look into it in detail, which is again part of your analysis when you're going to run the load test, endurance test. We need to know if at all there's spike, is it because of the GC? How many minor GC has happened? How many major GC has happened? What is the GC time? So all these things are something we're going to look into it from the GC analysis perspective. And with all these things is not going to be theoretical. Of course, concepts are important to know the basics, but almost 75% of these sessions are going to be covered along with the either creating problem with the sample application and then troubleshooting the problem with the Java programs. So everything is going to be practical. Almost 75-80% is going to be practical. I'll show you how we are going to do it practically as well, some of the examples. But all these response time analysis, Java basics, heap and stack, memory analysis, heap dump analysis, GC analysis, all these things are going to be pretty much 75% would be something we will be doing it as a part of our practical sessions. Okay, and moving away from response time and memory, next thing is going to be a thread. Okay, so we'll be going to understanding the concepts again from a Java thread perspective, how thread operate, how thread, what are various states of the thread, right from the thread getting started, initiated, it might go to running, it might wait, it might get blocked. What are the various states of the thread? And then the thread contentions, thread dump analysis during a load test. If at all there is a response time problem, we'll be looking into the thread dump analysis. So all these aspects from a thread perspective, we'll be looking into it. And then from a response time perspective, whatever we have seen so far is from the server side. So we will move on to the client side perspective as well to know how we can go and profile the web part, your client side profiling. And then so just not testing, more towards engineering, how to provide recommendations, how to optimize your web pages in terms of page size, in terms of number of requests, response time. That we will be looking into the from a early performance, your client side profiling perspective. We'll be using the combination of dev tools, JavaScript minifiers, and then the couple of navigation APIs, resource APIs, paint APIs. All these things are part of your that is available in your developer tool. Okay, so all these whatever we have seen so far mostly are from the shift left perspective or analysis that you do from a whenever you're going to find problems in your load test or endurance, be it as a GC spike in terms of number of collections or thread contentions or memory problems. All these things are various activity that you do as part of your shift left or during your load test or endurance test. Okay, so from there we will slightly move on to the monitoring strategy as part of the performance engineering, or as you as a performance engineer, it is very important for you to understand the architecture and then put across a monitoring strategy. Without that, just running a load test without proper monitoring tool across various layers is going to be difficult for you to find out problems if at all that's a response time issue, right? So monitoring strategy is something we will look into it from a concept perspective. From there, we will look into various aspects of monitoring. One is for the application monitoring, we'll be looking into the AppDynamics. The AppDynamics tool, we will go and configure the Java agent. We will run small load test and create some problem, and then look into various components of the AppDynamics. Okay, and then from an infra monitoring or open source monitoring, we'll look into one of the tool stack, tech stack, Telegraph, Inflex, Chronograph stack for the open source infra monitoring. And then from a network perspective also, we'll discuss and talk about how we go and troubleshoot latency problems. Latency problem from your load generator to app server to app server to database server. So the monitoring of network is something we will look into it as part of the overall monitoring strategy. Okay, and we'll also run some a small load test with combining all these tool stack, and then to find out bottlenecks. We'll create a bottleneck and then see how AppDynamics is going to help us, how we are going to start response time monitoring from JMeter, and then identifying the bottleneck in AppDynamics. So that part, that exercise, we will do it. And so far we have seen everything from a client perspective, database, app server perspective, your monitoring, your server side optimization. From a database perspective, we will go and look into it in detail about the database architecture of an Oracle. We'll try to understand how the database has been designed, how it works. We'll go and understand the performance parameter within Oracle, which is very important for us to analyze it. We will go over the parsing. We will go over the buffer cache, which are the two important aspects from a performance perspective. And from an AWR analysis, AWR report, we will see how we'll connect with Oracle database to enable few things for a snapshot to be taken. We'll go and take the snapshots. We'll understand when to take the snapshots, what is the process we follow during an endurance test or a load test, and then we'll go into the analyzing those AWR as well. Okay, and then at the end, we will stitch together all the activities and then see how do we go and create an engineering strategy, right? So the engineering strategy is something we used to have it at the first topic, but it is completely theoretical one, putting across a strategy. So what we did is we have put this almost at the end, so that now after 3 weeks you would have known about all these various engineering activities, which means going and creating that strategy is going to be very easy for us. For you to understand that is going to be very easy for you. So non-functional requirements and engineering strategy is something we will have it at the end of the your sessions. And more towards the future readiness, right? Or whatever you have seen so far is completely tailored for performance engineering, but more from the future readiness or today's hot topic, right? Wherever you go, people talk about DevOps, people talk about cloud. So we will also go and look into some of the introduction to the DevOps. What is something the project do it today when it comes to integrating performance into the pipeline? What are the various myths around it? How we successfully able to implement DevOps for performance? All these things we will try to share those information, and also from practically we'll go and use Jenkins JMeter for integrating it and to create pipelines and run these jobs in the Jenkins. And also similar to DevOps, the cloud is also something very new. It's not a new topic, It's been there for 3-5 years. But of course, the cloud performance is something we need to know what are the various scenarios we will be running it, how different it is going to be from a traditional performance to cloud performance. Is it really a entirely new thing? Since application is going to cloud, do we need performance testing at all? There are a lot of questions raised by the project teams. So we will see how to deal with those questions. How do we go about with the cloud performance? What are the additional scenarios we may need to run it, like auto scaling scenarios? What is auto scaling? What is resiliency? All these things we will look into it from a cloud performance perspective. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'll just take some water. Okay, so all these topics is what we are going to cover it in next 3.5 weeks. Okay, and as I said, if you look into each of these topics and the way we are put together, it is something from our experience of the projects and need of the project. We have tailored these topics so that you get all the minimal level of the knowledge that is required for you to transition from the testing to engineering, and more than enough for you to handle the interviews when you're going to follow these sessions. And then if you could go and install all the tools, everything whatever we do it in your laptop and practice it during the weekends or after the session, be pretty much sure that you'll be able to confidently talk with the project teams or in the interviews. That is how these sessions are tailored. That is how the topics are tailored for the our engineering needs. The way we are going to learn is we are going to most of the things, right? Most of these thread problems, key problems, response time problems for monitoring for the client side, right? We will be using the application which we will use. We'll go and create problems, build it, deploy it, test it, identify performance problem, and then go and profile, diagnose, and recommend. That is how we are going to learn most of these topics. Okay, and I'll be using the e-library application. I'll show it shortly. The Eclipse project and the application which we'll be using it. Okay, so this is how we are going to learn each of this topic. We are going to go and create a problem, or rather I would have created a problem. We'll go and deploy it, we'll test it, find a problem, and then profile it, and then provide the recommendation. Okay, and the basic environment what we would need from you, not a mandatory one, but definitely a recommended one, so that you can practice after the session or during the weekend or some after the batch is completed, whenever you are comfortable, right? So we just need a mission. It could be a laptop or it could be some cloud missions, whatever it is, right? And a latest Java, Eclipse, Tomcat, and a Java application which I will give it to you with the code, and couple of tools. We would need couple of tools, and all these tools are going to be either open source, or we'll have a trial version for a month or two, or you will use a SaaS version or a cloud version of the tool, right? Which means almost 100% of the things that I do it, you would be able to do it on your own on your laptop. Okay, nothing is that I'll be using a license tool which you cannot use it for practice. No, everything whatever we do it in the session, you would be able to replicate, or rather I would recommend you to use it so that you can talk it confidently. See, you might have not done engineering in your projects, right? But when you go to the interview and say that I'm good at PT, I haven't got any opportunity to do performance engineering, but from my curiosity, my passion, I have learned all these things. I have done these engineering activities in my own environment. I have set up my own environment with sample application. I have learned, I have got trained, and I've done all this profiling. I've done all these HIPDM, ThreadDMs, client-side analysis, AppDynamics monitoring, open source monitoring, database analysis, thread analysis, all these things I have done practically using all this tool. Definitely you will have an edge over others, right? Definitely the people who have done just PPT, and if you have done all these things by your own, though you don't have an experience in a live project for engineering, but you will definitely have a you will be making a huge difference when it comes to or edge over others. Okay, but so that is why we recommend you to go and practice this as well, so that you can confidently go and talk about it, rather than saying I just have learned. You can also practice it. That will make a huge difference. Okay, and all the application code, your war files, softwares, downloadables, everything will be available in the Google Sheet or in the Google Drive for you to go and download it. So whenever you registered for the session, you will get an access to the these Drive and Google Sheet, so that you can go and download everything that is required. Okay, so I'll just take a pause here. You can put your questions in the chat, and meanwhile we'll go and open the sample applications, and we'll show to you the one which we are going to use it for the our batch. Okay, there are a couple of questions. I'll try to answer it meanwhile while I go and start the Tomcat. How many types of triaging you will use AppD? So we'll be okay. So from AppDynamics perspective, okay, so we will use the AppDynamics Cloud, and we will start using it for the first part of the AppDynamics will be going and configuring the, your Java agent with your AppDynamics, and then we'll go over the various components of your AppDynamics. Let me open the AppDynamics slide as well, so that you will know what all things we are going to look into it. I'll also open the AppDynamics tool URL itself, so that you will get a fair idea about it, Zahid. Okay, so from the AppDynamics perspective, we'll go over all these topics: how to monitor the business transaction in AppDynamics, how to how to look into the OS level monitoring, your JVM level monitoring on your heap, your thread, garbage collection, database calls, third-party calls, creating events, looking into the events, response time diagnostics, and the alert configuration. So any APM tool will have these components for sure, to analyze, to monitor all these transactions, all these database calls, third-party calls, JVM monitoring. And from AppDynamics perspective also, we will go over everything. Okay, so the triaging, from a triaging perspective, we will be using AppDynamics to find out thread contentions, and find out response time problem for at least 2 transactions. So triaging the problem of whatever. Let me open the let me go and start the Tomcat as well, so that I can show you the your business transaction, as well as we'll see what kind of a triaging we'll do it. So from a number of hours perspective, so AppDynamics, we will have close to 2 sessions, 2.5 sessions for the AppDynamics, which will include the configuration, setting up this AppDynamics Java agent, and then going over all these aspect of monitoring in AppDynamics, running a test, and then triaging this problem. I would say, yeah, close to 2.5 sessions we will have it for AppDynamics. And there's another question about, we can only learn performance about Java application. Okay, see, from when it comes to performance engineering, obviously your tech stack, your architecture is going to have a lot of components. You're going to have Java, you're going to have Node.js, you're going to have Python. You might have a lot of technology, lot of components when it comes to performance engineering, right? obviously you will not be able to go and learn every programming language or technology from an engineering perspective. Java being one of the very common technology stack in any architecture, you will find this for sure. Your backend core server component is going to be Java in most of the time, most of the architecture what I've seen. And and definitely you should you should start somewhere, right? When you want to start somewhere, Java performance engineering is definitely the one which you have to learn. From a concept perspective, from a knowledge perspective, from an interview perspective, definitely Java engineering is going to be very, very useful, very relevant for today, tomorrow as well. And once you know to do how to approach the engineering for a Java application, you should be able to easily expand to all of the need in a particular application is having a Node.js or a Python, right? How will I go and approach it? So that is something you will be able to easily go and do it for the other technology stacks as well. Okay. The reason behind Java performance engineering is, of course, you cannot go and learn everything in one single um, uh, uh, course. And if at all somebody wanted to pick one of the topic for engineering, Java is going to be the only easiest one to start with because of the necessity need from an interview perspective, from the usage, from the relevancy perspective. Java is going to be the one which is something you can start with. Okay, and as a need in your project, there might be 2-3 different technology stack. Once you know how to approach an engineering, right? It's all about optimizing the memory, optimizing the response time, avoiding the thread problems. All these things you can extend it to other technology stack as well. And also the other aspect of engineering what you're going to learn is going to be still similar, same, right? Your either is your client side profiling or your architecture and monitoring strategy, app dynamics or open source monitoring, database analysis, DevOps, cloud. All these things are going to be something very in general common across the technology stack. Okay, so yeah, definitely the way we have tailored is to meet the demand, meet the needs of what is that something with which you will be able to go and clear the interviews or get into a project for engineering. That is how we have tailored it. Okay, so now the Tomcat is deployed, and the war file is deployed in the Tomcat. So this Tomcat is what I'm using it in the web apps folder. I have deployed the elibrary.war file. Okay, and then I'll just go and open the sample application as well before I go and stop it for the questions. Okay, so this is the home page of eLibrary application where we'll go and log into the application. I'll also go and check whether the MySQL is started. So the login is done. So we'll have functionalities like add librarian, view librarian, edit librarian, delete librarian, logout. All these things are all the functionalities that is available within this application. So the data is empty because I haven't started the MySQL. That is why you also get this exception here, JDBC exception. Okay, let it get started. So tomorrow we will go over in detail. We'll go and show you the little bit of in detail about each of these topics. What are the subtopics that we are going to look into it from the each of these topics, so that you will get more clarity towards it. You know, the data is rendered after starting the database, right? So this is the sample application which we will be using it throughout the sessions. Okay, and let me also show you this is the Eclipse project, and within this there's a eLibrary project, and this is a source. Okay, so this is the one which is there behind the scene, the project with the code which will be using it to go and change, modify the code to create response time problem or the memory problem, thread problems, right? And we'll go and create a WAR file, and we'll go and deploy it so that we can use it for our testing and the engineering. So this entire e-library project will be available for you to go and set it up in your mission. So this e-library project and the WAR file, what we have used in the Tomcat, will also be provided to you from a practice perspective. Okay, and let me also go to the Google Drive to quickly show you the. So this P_AUG drive will be shared to you, which will have all the strategies or scripts, response time analysis code, your thread lock issue code, memory leak code, all the code which will be using it for the profiling or engineering will also be uploaded here so that you can use it. The EBM HPROF files, memory analysis document, which we will create it as part of the deliverable, right? All these things are be part of this complete drive, which means you will have access to everything. Most of the things which we do it during your sessions, response time analysis, response time documentation, which you will create part of the analysis, the WAR file associated with this response time problem, right? Almost all the things which we'll use it, the GC case studies, and then from a monitoring perspective, the entire OpenStack software which we'll use it, and also we'll have this software sheet through which you will be able to go and reference the link for downloading your Java or downloading your Tomcat, downloading the other softwares which we will using it throughout the course. All the links for you to download it will be available here as well. Okay, so this sheet and drive access will be given to you once you register it, and you can set up all your tools and softwares over the weekend or whenever you get time. Okay, and the recordings as well, the everyday's recording will be given to you the next day, or say if the morning at 8 to 9 is what the course is going to be, right? So once the course the day session is completed, probably by the evening you will get the recording of the session. Okay, so every day you will get a video recording, and this recording is going to be available for you even after the batch is completed. There is no time limitation. You will have access to all the recordings for your future reference completely. Okay, so we talked about the drive for you to get access to the sheet, softwares, code, WAR file, documentation, and yes, the video recordings will be available. Anything else? If you have questions, guys, what are the questions that has been asked? I have answered. If you have any more questions, just put it in the chat, or you can unmute and you can ask your questions. So the session is going to be from 8 a.m. To 9 a.m. IST, similar time what we have connected. So mostly it will be just exactly 1 hour, 1 hour 5 minutes, not more than that. It could be late in the evening for you, or morning office hours. So we will stick on to 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. IST, Monday to Friday mostly. Maybe in any of the week we might have a Saturday class if at all everybody is available, but mostly it is going to be Monday to Friday between 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. IST. Will we be having Bitbucket? Okay, see, a Bitbucket is a repository, right, where you go and store your code, a version control tool, right? A developer use it for storing their code. We might use it to store our scripts, maybe to version control, or keep it in some places so that we can download and use it, right? So Bitbucket is more of a script repository tool, which I don't think that is required for us to go and learn how to use it from an engineering perspective. So Bitbucket is not something relevant from an engineering perspective, it is more about, it's like a GitHub, right? Where you can go and upload your scripts, download your scripts, clone your scripts. So Bitbucket is something not relevant to this Jaeger. So which means, yeah, it is not part of the session. Yeah, the client side PT of mobile app is somewhat different from web app. Okay, because the web app, um, it is more of a browser, but in the mobile app, you're going to, it is not a browser, right? In the mobile, you have different things. If it could be over the browser. If it is over the browser, then it is pretty much same. If you talk about Amazon.com launching in desktop Chrome versus mobile Chrome, then it is same. But when it comes to native app, yes, absolutely it is different, because your app itself, your mobile itself is a server here, right? Where your mobile app will be installed, and a lot of things might be, it will be different from a client side perspective. You're not going to have your HTML pages. You're not going to have a lot of similarity with respect to your UI or your browser based application. You need to look into how much CPU it is going to consume, how much memory it is going to consume, how much battery it is going to consume. And from a server to client perspective, it's going to be a little similar, because you need to still go and monitor the all the network calls to optimize the your native app. Okay, but yes, from a client side perspective of native app is completely different from what you do from your web page. In the web page, you will try to see if there are how much response time. Response time is same. You need to still see from page to page how many, or what is the time taken for your page. But when it comes to further analysis about your JavaScripts or style sheets, you will focus more on how to minimize your JavaScripts, or how to combine those JavaScripts, how to reduce your pages, all these things. But here, the focus will be more towards your whether the native app is consuming more CPU, more memory, more battery, because your native app itself is an app that is going to run on your mobile server, right? Your the device what you're going to have it in your and is a device where your app is going to install. That itself is a server, so it can, your app can cause a performance problem, response time problem, CPU problem, memory problem. So from a client side perspective, native app, it is completely different from a, not completely different, but a lot of difference between your web app and native app. Yeah, we'll see, for when you want to, if you want to look into the client side of a mobile app, you might need to use tools like Charles Proxy, Xcode for iOS, Android debug tools. There are native tools available with the mobile Android ADB tools, Xcode for iOS, and Charles Proxy for analyzing the network calls, simulating different network simulation. Yes, uh, uh, but all these things are from a single user perspective. And you're just doing a single user performance analysis. But when it comes to load testing, it is same. From a load testing perspective, either you load test your native app calls, or your web browser calls, you're going to test only the backend, right? Your backend API calls or backend server calls. From load test perspective, it is same. From a single site client side perspective, it is different. Okay, fine, guys. I'll take a pass here. Tomorrow we'll just go over all these topics little bit in a detailed way. Okay. We'll start with the performance engineering basics, and then I was talking about Java basics and JVM. We'll see I have a topic called think like a developer. We'll go over these things in detail tomorrow, and then we will jump onto the uh, various engineering topics as we move along. Okay, so anything related to the course content, or the course duration or course fees, right? You can reach out to Kumar sir, or you can also drop a message in the WhatsApp group. Or if you need any more clarification, we can also have a quick call whenever we both are available over the phone, over the WhatsApp. Okay. So feel free to put your questions over the chat or contact me or contact Kumar sir. Okay. Anything related to the enrollment also, you can reach out to Kumar sir. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. We'll wind up the session today and we'll connect again tomorrow. Okay. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
Thank you, Satish.